out. I remember 3 years ago, Times Magazine released an article about women and the fact that women will always be advocates for society. Because again, why are we as women having a conversation about the role of men in our lives? Why are they not holding themselves accountable to the spaces and the gaps that they have created between us? And I find that very interesting, that it's almost like women are the gatekeepers of relationships between the father and the child, or uncles and child, whereas when are the men actually stepping up and taking that initiative to be in the child's life? Why do we always find ourselves, kind of being the advocates for other people's lack of accountability?
That definitely comes from this myth that we've created of women as a rock, women as imbogodo. And for me, it's always been a myth because women do have this, like everyone else, they need to be taken care of. They need to also have a shared burden. It can't all be on your shoulders. So this is a misconception that society has placed upon women. And I think in South Africa, a lot more of this has happened because of our historic past, where women had to bear the burden because of our history, and because of this myth of, in ancient Africa, women bore most of the responsibility and so forth, whereas it was always a shared responsibility. So now when we come into this age, I think definitely with Fathers Matter, we are definitely seeing men show up. We are seeing men taking responsibility. And that's why our plea is for women to enable the ones that are positively present, the ones that are actively present, to actually show up. And some of the barriers that we have encountered in why men don't show up have been because they don't have the skill. Most of them do not have the skill. And most people are like, I know, but this sounds like they're just incompetent. Why can't they just be like women? Women were never taught. Women just had to show up. It's also because in our society, men have been blocked from learning these skills, and we as Heartlines have created lots of resources. We've created training materials so that the men that do want to show up, the men that do want to be present in children's lives, and for those women that are carrying the burden of child rearing, we want to make sure that they have the skills. We want to make sure that they have the knowledge of how they are expected to show up. So there is a tussle that's currently happening in our society where men are definitely trying to show up. And in some cases, we have women that are actually saying, yeah, but you're not showing up the way I want you to show up. You're not showing up as much as I would like you to show up, and not realizing that there is this vulnerability that men are meeting, this block that men are meeting, where they don't have the skill, they don't have the knowledge, and sometimes our society does block them from having access.
I want to look. I agree with the idea that there are men and good men out there who want to be involved, but I don't want for us to misconstrue weaponized incompetence, because they know that women know how to pick up the slack. They know how to, kind of clean up the mess, clean up the crises, and therefore it's easy for them to not show up because they know that the woman got it anyway. It's kind of like leaving the bowl in the sink because you know that your sister's gonna come and wash the dishes and she's going to wash all of them. You have the ability to do that, but you just choose not to because you're dependent on a woman's competence. And my concern now is that and there's a lot of phrases that happen on social media, and I can imagine how difficult it is for you as an organization to speak positively about men when on social media all we hear is how trashy they are and how terrible they are based on real life experiences. In what ways are we enabling that? Because we also have to be accountable for the ways that even with our sons, our brothers, our partners, significant others, our friends, how do we enable the weaponized incompetence of men? And because I feel like it feeds into their lack of accountability.
Mm-hmm. Let me give you a small scenario. We have a support tool for men on WhatsApp. It's called the WhatsApp Coach. And in WhatsApp Coach, we have actually a case study of a young man that is a new father. He's been with Coach for almost 8 months now, since the birth of his child. And in that 8 months, he has made contact with WhatsApp Coach 850 times, asking things like, how do I do this? How do I change a nappy? How do I make sure that the child really burps? How do I know that he's really burping? And for a father who really wants to be actively involved, to be asking those questions continuously, to be asking, how do I make sure that they're sleeping right? Are they sleeping? What is happening? And that means in that father's space, there is something that is preventing him from actually asking those questions to the people around him. I am not saying that maybe there are people that are blocking him or there are barriers, but I'm just saying that we in society have made it hard for men to ask and continually ask. I would also say that these men have never had the role model that they can say, oh, okay, my uncle did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because like you said previously, we just have men that don't show up. We have men that don't fulfill their role. So therefore, this man who is contacting WhatsApp Coach is not finding a role model, someone that he can call and say at 3 a.m., hey, Ndoda, this is what is happening in my life. This is what's happening with me and the child. They might have a role model in everything else in their life, but not around child caregiving. They're not having someone that can really step into the space for them and say, yeah, you can do this. And this incompetence that you speak about most of the time is basically because women are tired. Women are tired of being asked, how do I make the bottle? Because you've been asked 3 times, you've been asked 4 times, and you just go, I know, leave it, I'm going to do it myself. How many times has that happened in almost every woman's life? I speak from experience. Sometimes when our kids were very small, when he would ask me things, I'd be like, my guy, but I showed you so many times, and he would stop asking. And I think for a lot of men, this weaponized incompetence is sometimes that whole idea of, okay, I give up. She wants to do it herself. Ugogo wants to do it herself. She's not allowing me to take my part. So this is why we decided to create this tool, because it's a help in their pocket. They can go and be vulnerable. They can talk about their mental health issues when the woman is going through postpartum depression. They can talk about their own postpartum issues that they're facing, because no one gives them that space. And I don't want it to come across like I'm being apologetic for men. We're not being apologetic, but we're speaking the realities of what we are seeing and the conversations we are having with men.
And I don't think you being apologetic. I think you're being empathetic, because we are also raising a generation of men, so they can't walk into the world thinking we hate them. You know, it's as much as we do speak about their dads or their uncles, I mean, there's still teenage boys who are hearing so many negative things being said about men, and it's easy to engulf yourself into that category of, you know what, they think I'm trash, so I might as well be. You know, and I believe that, you know, the organization, based on what you're doing as well, I wanted to comment on the WhatsApp channel that you've created. I think it's quite brilliant, considering the fact that men are naturally very embarrassed to go and ask for help, right? It plays on their ego and their masculinity. So the fact that all they have to do is text, it's something that, you know, it's not out of the ordinary of what they normally do. Please share where we can find the WhatsApp channel, some of the initiatives that you have going on, and how we can support as well.
To connect to WhatsApp Coach, it's important to first understand the why. It's important for men to understand why they're important in children's lives. So we do encourage people to go on our website, which is www.fathersmatter.org.za. please go on the site. Not only will you be connected to WhatsApp Coach, but you'll also be connected to resources that can assist you in your trying to enable this man to come into their lives. And for us, it's important that it is positive, present men in children's lives. So if you know that this is someone that has been neglectful, it's someone that has not been dependable to be there when they need to be there, please don't do that to the child. But also it's important that we make sure that positively present fathers have, and men have a space that they can go to. So on fathersmatter.org.za, you will not only get the coach, but you'll also get access to our 7 films. The 7 films go with discussion guides. A lot of times we find that women don't know how to start up a discussion. And the minute you start a discussion, it's seen as an attack. Like, oh, you're attacking me. You're saying that I'm not showing up. So those films act as a mirror onto the world. It acts as a mirror to the person, to their relationship. We have films about when the child is just born, and just the women acting as, gatekeepers to access in the hospital, access to the child, access because the men cannot provide. We have films around the lobola process and how difficult, not having a present father, and all of a sudden the man's family wants to come and you don't have someone to show up for you. There's an actual conversation about that. There's a conversation around co-parenting and the importance of communication in co-parenting. And our most recent one is around dads and play. And in that film, one of the sentences that is said by the wife is, I did not ask you to guard the child, but I asked you to play with him. And how many of us are like, okay, keep the child. And it's like, yeah, I'm babysitting. I'm like, you're not babysitting. It's your child. Don't babysit. But actually play with the child and be involved in your child's life. So that's the 7 films that we have. And we are more than excited to share them. They are for free. All Heartlines resources are for free. And we also have teams on the ground that can come and have these discussions, have the dialogue. We have a women's resource on why it is important that women are engaged in this conversation of why fathers matter. So we try to make sure that all these resources are available. People like me are available to the community, so that we can come through and talk to you, to your ECD centers, to your workplace, and so forth. That is us as Heartlines Fathers Matter.
Amazing stuff. Thank you so much for joining us and for pioneering the next generation of men. We're hoping that they just get it, the same way women just get it. I hope they just get it, but through all of this coaching. So I'm going to look forward to what this next gen is going to do with the information you've given us.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. And please join Coach. You must also join Coach. Women can do so also.
100%. Thank you so much, Zama, and we look forward to engaging you in the future.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye. It's Zamabongo Mojalefa, who is the Fathers Matter lead at Heartlines. It is an NPO that focuses on instilling positive social change in society. It is 7:54 Central African time, and one of the things that is very exciting is of the fact that the SABC is pleased to announce the launch of the new self-registration platform. Vendors wishing to do business with the SABC can self-register on our internally developed platform. Vendors are able to access this platform on our website www.sabc.co.za/SABC under e-tenders, or self-register at etender.sabc.co.za and follow the prompts. Visit SABC social media pages for more details.